Hey, good morning. What a beautiful, yet a little cold morning we have here on Saturday morning for the Saturday morning live show on the Daddykirbs farm. The lighting is good. I feel good. You guys look good. I can tell from here. And it's going to be a good morning. It's always good to be here and share with you guys. It is truly a pleasure for me to join every Saturday with this group of people to just share life, share experiences, tell stories. Sometimes it's about learning things, sometimes it's just about being together. So this morning, let's start with what we like to start with every Saturday morning, and that is our pledge. The pledge comes from my quote, which is everyone has a story and every story counts. So this is where we sit up straight, we put our hand on our chest, and we say, my story counts because I count. And I don't have anyone sitting here to share it with me, but I shared it with you. So thank you very much. Hey, Kate, thanks for posting that. You guys truly do count. I want the cat's already already in it. Come on. Uh, and that's Max, not Maddie. Come on, Max. This morning I put the squirrel hat on, and Harry, Luke's service dog, couldn't stop barking at me. He thought that was pretty funny. I thought it was funny. He thought it was probably scary. All right, so we have some things to talk about this morning. Um, this may sound a little bit like a broken record because you've heard things like this before, but I think it's important. I think it's important. So, actually, I found the squirrel hat wasn't lost. What I lost, Kate, was the squirrels, the little that I can attach to my hat. I don't know where they are. So somewhere in traveling, they're probably in a suitcase or something somewhere, but I'll find more. I actually have more squirrels. I just need to get the clips. All right. So, like I said, this is important. I think this is important. This week was another week, and I don't want to be sad or dramatic or anything, but this is just something I deal with as a person, and I know because other people talk to me and share with me how important this is, how important sharing this is to them, that other people deal with the same thing, and that is my story, the value of my story. Goodness, Max. Hello. Max normally is not this. You don't have to put your butt in my face. Yes, you do. Okay, so my story. What is the value? Max needs attention, yeah, but he doesn't really like to be touched. He just wants to get in the middle of everything. This week was one of those. All right, Max, I don't know if I can do this show with you hanging out, sticking your tail in my face. Why don't you go find some cat friends to hang out with? Mr. Happy starting it off with the squirrel. Thank you. You know what I'm going to do this morning just for fun? I'm going to tell this story, but I got squirrels and cats. We're going to do something a little different. Every time I get a squirrel, I'm going to throw a beanbag. Now, I was thinking this morning, should I do something like if I make it, something happens. If I don't make it, something happens. I didn't come up with anything. So let's see, just for fun, we got a squirrel. I'm going to go ahead and throw one, and then maybe we can, come on, Max. Maybe we can come up with something fun to do with that later. But right here, here's the first one. This one's for Happy. This one's for Happy. Whoa! So close. So close. All right. So, all right, I'm Max jumped off the table. I'm going to tell this story. This week was one of those weeks that I have struggled a lot with just wondering, why do I do this? What is the value? What is the value in um, doing what I do, sharing my story online? What is the value in what I do and how other people see that? And quite honestly, there are some times when I want to quit. I want to quit because I don't see the value in it. I don't understand why other people do. I don't figure what I do matters that much. Um, so this was one of those weeks when I contemplated. Almost didn't say that word. I contemplated um, stopping, and um, it went through my mind over and over and over. So, but in oh man, the cat walked all over my notes and got dirt on my notes. So I don't want to give any uh, energy to this, but it was just kind of funny. I did laugh at it, but I got a comment this week from someone that said, "Don't post another video until you know what you're doing." Oh man, I would never post because most of my videos I barely know what I'm doing. But that was just one of those things that just almost supported um, my feeling that I don't need to do this. No, I'm not quitting. I'm not quitting. But it's these are the things that go through my mind, okay? And I want to share this because I think it's important for you guys too. I'm getting to a point. And then I got, I was reading some of the comments on my, which one was it? I think it was the Luke video. And this was another day. Actually, this was this morning as I was reading through some things and just trying to figure out, okay, how can I put together my thoughts, my energy to get out here and do another show on Saturday morning? Because I truly love doing the Saturday morning show, but sometimes it is a bit of a pull on me because of that internal struggle. And so I wish I would have wrote down who made these comments. Not the first one, because that isn't. I don't. Anyway, I don't need to say their name, but this one. Um, this one struck me in the heart this morning in a good way. In a good way. And if you're here this morning and you made this comment, thank you. I'm going to read the comment. Someone said, "You ended up in my recommended today." That's the YouTube recommended list. "And I went through and spot checked your story over the last 2 years. Starting with the barn cats, which is what originally attracted me, LOL. And I have to say, your story does count. And I think I'll hang around to see how it unfolds." Isn't that beautiful? Hey, Liv, right at the end of my little comment there. Thank you. All right, so that's a squirrel. This one's for Liv. Let's see, wait a minute. Let's alternate. So, Happy had a stripe, so Liv gets a star. Yeah, almost. Thank you, Liv. I appreciate that very much. So with that comment this morning, it just fueled that same several years ago when I got on my heart for the first time the "everyone has a story and every story counts" phrase. When I feel like God put that on my heart, that made a huge difference in how I feel about what I do. That combined with all of the many stories, not many, because they're big stories, but all of the stories that you guys share with me about your own life, your own content, your own adventures, and how the Daddykirbs Farm story affects you. Those things touch me. So this was important, and I was thinking a little more about that. I got cat hair in my nose, and I happen to be allergic to cats. Yeah, I didn't get around to doing my full intro. Sorry, I'll do that. I'll do that. Cut me, let's see. Mary said, you caught me first when you adopted your second horse. Yeah, Tejo's a good horse. Tim said, your story will never be over. That's why I'm here. Let's see. Karen said, I remember that video, and that is why I have a YouTube channel today, along with your apple cider vinegar. That is so good. Karen, I love the fact that you're sharing your story and doing what you do in the kitchen and your personality. Kate, same thing. You sharing what you do in the kitchen and teaching people. You don't know exactly who you're reaching, but you're reaching people. And some of those will be like your peers who just want to learn something new. Some of those will be younger people, next generation people who didn't have the benefit of a mother or a grandmother showing them how to do these things in the kitchen. So you guys are filling that spot in their life, and that is extremely valuable. So thank you for sharing your story and doing that. Kilted Gardener found you through a hot sauce video. So hey, this morning I'm going to go back to the beginning of my notes because I didn't finish, but I want to do again this week like we've done in other weeks. If you are a creator, simply post, I am a creator, and meaning a creator with online content, probably YouTube. That way people can find you, read your story, or watch your story and follow along. Okay, so it is my normal thing in the mornings, on Saturday morning after the pledge, to give some thank yous. And a big thank you goes to my moderators, everyone with the blue names and the wrench. They help keep the show family friendly and moving along and more interesting. Really, they're the ones that do that. So give them a big thank you. Thank you to the moderators. A huge thank you. Actually, all thank yous are equal. None are huger than the others. To my patrons, that would be to anyone who supports me financially at all, even if it's $1 a month. That is so important to me because you guys help give me a budget to continue doing what I do here on YouTube and other, just sharing my story. You guys provide the equipment, some of the things that I rent, like my internet even. You guys are important for that. So that a lot of the patrons come through in the form of Patreon, PayPal, even checks in the mail. Sometimes I get checks in the mail to my P.O. box, which is posted in the chat often. So big thank you. I don't like to ask for that because that's just not something I want to do. But some people truly do have the gift of giving, and I thank you for that. Also to those companies that I work with that they're not really sponsors, but that we have a relationship, and some of those are Greenstock Gardens, which I think they are a beautifully designed stackable garden system with it waters from the top down. You really should check them out, Greenstock Gardens. And right now they have things on sale. I was looking this morning, and later this week for the whole Black Friday thing, they're going to have even more on sale. And if you use my link, you can even get up to $10 off. I think that's on top of sale price. Not sure. So other companies is Kai Tea. They have provided a lot of tea samples for me to give away over the last few months, and that's been a lot of fun. Please do contact them, call them, email them, include a note in your order that you appreciate them doing that for the Daddykirbs farm, because they put a lot into that. They put a lot of just their own resources into making that happen for us. So that was a lot of fun. And coming up soon, I didn't bring the samples out, but coming up soon, starting in January, I think, we're going to be giving away Pruitt's tree resin, which is a natural topical, like an ointment or a salve, and it is wonderful. So we're going to give some of that away. I use it every day. All right, so a big thank you also to my moderators. I already did moderators. My family members, those of you who share your story with me here in the live show and also in the family group on Facebook. Whew, that was a lot of thank yous. But I truly am a grateful person. I'm grateful to many people for a lot of things. So, all right. I wanted to get into a little more. We're getting that wash look. Is that the sun that's created? Oh, yeah, it is. Is it better? Nope. It's just going to be a little bit washed right now. It's a nice view back there with the turtles and the playhouse. And so about our stories, me struggling with my confidence has given me a story, and I think it's important to share that. I'm going to go back in time just a little bit. I've sort of shared this in the past, but I want to go over it again. And that is, how did I start? Where did I come from? How did Daddykirbs begin? And so, when I was in the military, long time ago, we lived in a normal suburban area, with houses right next to each other, small backyards, and had my very young family. And all along, I knew I wanted to do something else, something more, not just go to work, do my military responsibilities, come home, watch TV, do those things. I wanted to do something more. I wanted to get outside. And one of the ways we got outside as a family was that we went camping. And that I have some great memories going camping. We would load up. At first, it was the tent and whatever camping equipment we had, which wasn't very much, and we'd load it up in the van, the Suburban, or whatever vehicle we had at the time. It was probably a Suburban or a pickup truck, and we would go to the local state parks and spend time outdoors. And we would go fishing, hiking. We would just play games there in the state parks. The Texas state parks, by the way, are beautiful. And if you don't have a state park pass, you might want to check that out. So being outside meant a lot to me and my family. And the more time we spent outside, the more I started thinking about owning a place that was something I could steward, something bigger. But that wasn't going to be the case for a while in my life because we had a very small budget and we were in a suburban area. Like I said, small houses, small backyards. When I thought, well, being outside is so important, and it's also important that we learn how to grow our own food. My dad used to garden, not a lot, but here and there, and my grandfather would garden. So I thought, I really want to learn how to garden. So I made a very small garden in my backyard. And by small, I mean 2 feet by 6 feet, if even that big. It was a very small place. And it was right outside the patio deck. And I decided that I was going to grow some tomatoes and peppers and try to grow some herbs. And I did, and I was mildly successful, and it was fun. And being outside, getting my hands in the soil was something that invigorated me. Well, then a friend of mine shared with me the concept of aquaponics, which I just blew my mind at the time. This was 10 years ago or more. No, it was probably around. No, it was 9 years ago because it was in 2010. And it blew my mind that you could set up a system that you could grow fish that would put waste in the water, and then the water would go to plants. The plants would clean the water because it would soak up, uptake those nutrients, the waste, and the water would be returned to the fish tank clean or cleaner. Let me scroll through here. And so I built a small system based on what I could find you know, through online sources, YouTube and different places. And it worked. I was able to grow a few plants in that thing, and some of them grew really well, and some didn't. And a lot of the reason why that original system didn't work real well is just because Texas is hot, and the grow tubes. If you watch that video, go back and watch the video. The grow tubes um, got really hot, so the water was really warm. But that was enough for me to start thinking about a lot of different things, a lot of projects, and I really at that point wanted to become a homesteader. I didn't really know what that word. I knew what homesteader meant, but it wasn't like our normal vocabulary at the time. I just wanted to get outside, get a farm, and do some things. And um, pausing as I read through your comments. So, trying to remember where I was. So there was that aquaponic system, and one of the things that changed in that moment was that not only did I do the project, but I recorded it. You guys remember those little flip cameras? It was like a small digital camera it was like smaller than a cell phone, and you could just easily record and then put those on your computer for later. It was a pretty neat invention at the time. Of course, now cell phones blow things like that away, but at the time it was nice because it made video really accessible. They were like $100, or I can't remember, but it was affordable. I think I got it for Christmas. And so I put that video on my YouTube channel. At the time, my YouTube channel was me putting like kids videos up there, which is kind of tricky nowadays, right? You can go back in time and look and see the first few videos that I put on YouTube had absolutely nothing to do with anything what my current story is. But then I put that aquaponics video on, and that kind of changed things for me, because not only was that a different style of video, but that was a video that people actually started watching. And I never expected more than 10 or 12 people ever to view that video, but I got a few thousand views at the time, and I thought, wow, that is really cool that I can put something on this online platform and people want to see that, and they leave comments, and some of them even asked me questions, and which I wasn't prepared for, because I did, again, like most of what I do, didn't really know what I was doing. However, that's kind of what started the creator Daddykirbs. Daddykirbs, by the way, the name, if you don't know, came from my military days, because my last name being Kirby. In the military, people called me Kirbs. It just was my name. It's what they called me. And then after a leave, at one point, I took a leave because we were, as a family, going to go and have our third child. And so after that leave, and I came back, I was greeted at my workplace with Daddykirbs. And that started it all. The name, anyway. So online, I became Daddykirbs. I took that name online, and then I became Daddykirbs, the YouTube creator, because of that aquaponics video. And I started sharing a little more. And then we moved because I really had the itch. I really had the itch to get out and do something besides a small backyard. And that's when we found friends of ours who owned this place, and we just started chatting about it, and we said, hey, if you guys ever move, let us know, because we would be interested in buying your farm. It wasn't really a farm. I guess it kind of was. They had chickens and stuff. And turns out they wanted to move, and so we had to either put up or shut up, and the bank said yes. So here we are. We bought the Daddykirbs farm, and our story just started developing, because I would record things. Didn't know for sure why I was recording, or what my intention was as a creator. I just knew that I wanted to record what I was doing and share that with people. It's still the same today, because I don't make much money from this. It never has been about money. I do get a little bit every month that helps, but it's definitely not a real income. You need to trademark your name. I probably should. I need to look up how to do that. So then, as a young creator, I struggled a lot with how to share those stories. Like, there were a lot of times when I was so, you may even be able to go back and see it with me in front of the camera. I was really scared. Most of the time when I put the camera on myself and I looked in there and I started talking, I was really scared. And fear of not feeling good enough or big enough or whatever. And those things gripped me for a very long time, from 2010 all the way up to when was it? It was probably 2015, 2016 or so that I think I started. I think it was in 2016. Yes, it was. And I'll tell you how I know this. 2016, let me interrupt here. Stacy said, "I'm glad you started your journey on YouTube. We met and became friends, and we love you and your family." Thank you. I love you guys too. You guys are definitely a part of my story, and I appreciate that. And so that supports the next part of what I was getting ready to say, is that in 2016, I went to Norway. And the reason I went to Norway was because I became friends with someone here on YouTube. And that friendship, I think that friendship actually started in 2013. And the friendship was really just on Google Hangouts. We would chat a lot about different things. And it turned into, hey, why don't you come visit? And so had a long discussion with Mama Kirbs, and we decided that I would take my boys to Norway. And that trip was pivotal for me for a lot of reasons. One, Norway is just gorgeous, and you can't help but stand out in that nature and feel God. I truly felt like the presence of God while I was standing, especially that one day when we climbed that mountain. Liv is in the house. She's part of my Norway family. When I was with them there in Norway, and we took that day and we took that hike, and we went up this, I'm going to call it a mountain. It wasn't really a mountain, but it was a pretty good size hill. And my buddy Oystein said, normally people go around the other side and come up because it's a lot easier. Well, between Oystein, Espen, and Brody, Espen and Brody being my sons, they looked at this side, the steep side that was full of rough terrain, and they said, I think we can do it. So I followed, and it took a little while to get up to the top of that. It was steep. You can go back and watch my Norway videos, and you'll see some of that on there. But when I got to the top of that one, I was just winded. But it was such a gorgeous experience, and being on top of that big hill, that little mountain, and having done that with my boys, and just going to the other side of the world and seeing this beauty, climbing this hill and getting to the top, it was almost, I won't say almost, it was spiritual for me. It meant something deep to me. So the Norway experience was something that really helped my my desire to want to do more of this because of that spiritual experience, but also because the people that I got to spend time with there in Norway are beautiful people. Thank you, Liv and family. You guys are amazing. And that helped me in something else too, because I kind of thought everyone in the world hated Americans. That's how our media presents it sometimes, and I had some fear of leaving the country. I did. I know it's silly, but I had some fear about leaving the country, getting on a plane, and going outside our borders. And that trip was changed my mindset completely because I met really nothing but beautiful people. Live making you cry. Yeah. Well, sometimes when I think about what you guys have done for me, just in being the wonderful people that you are and sharing this life, this journey with me, sometimes it makes me want to cry too. Yeah. So all along the way, I've met people online and in person, and that has been really valuable for me to feel like what I do is touching lives. And at the same time, because I don't presume at all that it's my story that's reaching people, and that's what's important, because your stories are reaching into my life as well. So that is um, that's critical for me to be able to do this. I don't need to feel like, I don't even know what I'm trying to say. The point is, I know that everyone has a story and every story counts because God told me that. And I also know that because this journey, this experience is supporting that. When I share something online, yeah, there's always going to be haters. And quite honestly, that's getting kind of funny to me. A lot of it's just fun. Some of it is downright vulgar and they get deleted and gone. But some of it's funny. So, I just take the good with the bad, embrace the good, laugh at the bad, move on. All right. Where was I? Mary says, "Isn't it amazing how linked up we all actually are? We are all in this together." Yes, and that kind of sounded like High School Musical. All right. So my story up to 2016 was that I was real timid and shy and embarrassed, but I knew I wanted to do this. So I would get out there, do my videos. It's really really awkward for me to go back and look at some of my old videos, but I leave them on there because it's a part. It's a part of the fabric of who I am as a creator. And so after the Norway trip, um, that's when I feel like I received the message that everyone has a story and every story counts. And when I started sharing that here on YouTube and other places, and other people would just grab a hold of that and say, "Yes, thank you. That means something to me uh, because now I feel like I want to share more of what I do, or uh, um, like I either want to be a creator or I want to post things on Facebook, or whatever, however people share." People started telling me that now, because of that, because of me sharing that, um, they feel like they can, like they're valuable, they're worth it. And you are valuable, you are worth it. All of us have good and bad in our stories, and some of us would like to forget the bad. We would like to cover it up or ignore it. But the truth is, all of that makes us who we are. And all of my um, lack of confidence or fear, that's part of what has made me who I am. Now, that's not say I don't need to embrace it and hold on to it forever. I do need to face that fear and get over it. Um, and there are people online that I have met in person even, but viewing other people's stories helps me share mine. Let me give you this example. Now, a lot of us love Doug and Stacy. They're a great couple and they share a great story, and they have amazing personalities, big, bold, um, just in charge kind of personality with Doug, and that loving, caring, um, sweet personality with Stacy. Sorry, Doug, you're sweet too. I'm just saying. Um, but the stories like that and people like that are someone that you can really look to and say, wow, look at them. And but the temptation with someone like myself is to say, wow, look at them. I'll never be like that. I'll never be that good, or I'll never be that bold or that confident. And um, but that's where we just need to say, that's that's negative, and that actually takes away from who we are and what we have to offer. Because I'll never be like Doug. That's true, but that's good because Doug will never be like me. And some people need to look at people like Doug, like I need to look at people like him and say, I would love to aspire to be more like him in some ways, but not giving up my own value. So there's just a lot of there is a lot of I keep saying value and importance, but that's truly how I feel. Um, there's a lot of value in each other when we embrace each other as a um, as a community, as a family, and we can support each other when they're down and lift each other up in celebration when they're doing well. All of those things can help each one of us and give us all a purpose in sharing our story, because somebody needs to hear what you have to say. Not too many people need to wait for you to be as good as someone else. They just need you to be you. And those are the things that I have really started to learn and embrace as I move forward in this space. I almost made a little poem there. Let's see. North Star Prepstetter, you may have already talked about this, but what is your plan for content creators and the whole regulation? I don't really have a plan except to just keep doing what I do and try to mark my videos appropriately. I don't think I have anything to be too concerned about, but I don't know. Uh-oh. Did Espen visit? Things going on? I saw Paul had to restart his computer. That was a while back. Okay, sorry, I'm way behind. Wee Tree says we push each other to the top of the hill. That's right. Just don't knock them down and roll them down the other side. Lynx says, that reminds me of the latest video from the Canadian Beekeepers blog. Even 2 years ago, he had trouble having casual business conversations with various people. And Kate said, recently I told my 90-year-old mother that I have a whole new family. She asked what I meant, and I told her about the family here, and she agreed. I do have a big family again. Yes. So to continue the Canadian beekeeper story, now he's accepting speaking opportunities and met with a minister of agriculture the other day. That's amazing. That's so cool. So going to events this year, 2019, 2019 has been my event year. I went to Homesteading Live Conference, Homesteaders of America, and Good of the Land. That was really good for me. Going and hanging out with people and having people come up and say, you are valuable. Thanks for being here. Let me tell you something about my story. And then me getting the opportunity to listen. That, never forget that part. Never forget the part when you're telling your story is sometimes you just need to shut your mouth and open your ears and listen to someone when they're sharing their story. And so that was really valuable. Going, having Doug and Stacy having me out to the Homesteading Live Conference, that was the first experience this year, and that was really, really good for me. And then going out to the Homesteaders of America, where I got to meet more wonderful people in this space, and to meet Robert Kilted Gardner and his lovely family for the first time, and lots of people there, really made a difference in how I feel about what I do. I'm still scrolling through. Yeah, Robert said it was a pleasure to meet you. Thank you. You too. It really was. Being able to hang out with you guys, and oh, I am caught up. Cool. Let's see. So many people, no time for cameras. That's how it felt there at HOA. So yes, I probably rambled on a bit more than I thought I was going to there, but that brings me up to now. And yes, even still, like I said earlier, this week, I had it in my mind to just be done. And part of that, it's not because of, somehow not feeling valuable online. It's feeling like I have too many other things in real life to do to feel like I can give this time to the online world. And that's true. I have so much. And now with us struggling with Luke, the Luke update, by the way, is that he is doing better than last week. His struggle with breathing and getting that congestion and making sure that stuff doesn't turn into something much worse like a pneumonia. That we're on a 4-hour or more, like every 4 hours or sooner, we're doing something, whether that's a breathing treatment, a medicine, a therapy, whatever. We're doing something every 4 hours. The percussion vest, the nebulizer, the cough assist machine, games to help keep his body moving. We're doing something, and that's 24 hours a day, around the clock. So yes, we're not getting much sleep. But it's all working because when we go to the doctor, and Mama Kirby has been to a few doctors in the last few weeks with Luke, and each one of them say that none of them could do much more than what she's doing for Luke. She's keeping better records. She's got a notebook that she writes in constantly. She's keeping better records than a hospital would. She is doing more on schedule maintenance for his lungs and different things than a hospital would be able to do. And we're providing an environment that's not full of everyone else's germs, hopefully. Duncan 1900 Homestead. I love getting to meet all the different people in this community and family. Yep, I agree. So now that we're 42 minutes in, and hey, Off Grid with Doug and Stacy showed up. Hopefully they got here after I talked about them. Ears burning. That's funny. So we've talked for 43 minutes about just sharing stories and being real and understanding your value and all that, and it's been quite the ride. Something else that is in my life right now, and I say this not as a person trying to sell you something, really, honestly, even though I did become a distributor and can sell you something if you want it, just to be upfront. But the story that goes with this, I had 23 years of chronic pain, and you've heard this, but I want to say it again in a different way. Yesterday, again, this week, I guess I struggled a lot this week with just reevaluating the things I do in my life, and so reevaluating some of the things that I take personally for my health. And I was looking at it, thinking about it, and the struggle of being overwhelmed. And Mr. Doug Bowd, my friend, I probably got a little rude with him on some chat this week just because of me being frustrated. I'm sorry, Doug. I love you, brother. But where some of that came from is just I have so much going on, so many responsibilities between work and farm and home and special needs and all those things. I started to reevaluate a lot of the things in my life. And one of those things is this company that I joined with and this product that I take. And my 23 years of chronic pain that is now gone, I had to reflect on that story for myself, because I never want to go back. I never want to go back to feeling like I used to feel. And now I live without that pain. So I will not give that part up in my life. That is something that is extremely valuable to me. And I was talking to two of my brothers over the last couple of weeks, one of them yesterday. One of them has celiac disease and deals with a lot of gut stuff, because that's what celiac is. It messes with your gut, and can't eat gluten, different things. And he was sharing with me that he now is enjoying the pleasures of feeling better, because he takes this and it makes it a part of his life. And so the gut pain that he experienced before, at the time he talked to me, he said was gone. He's not experiencing that gut pain anymore, and he's feeling better overall. My other brother, who I spoke with yesterday, is a builder. He rebuilds homes. He flips houses, but that's after 20 some years, 25, I don't know, a lot of years in the military. And I got to tell you, I look up to him, because he is a hard-hitting, go fast, go hard, G.I. Joe kind of guy. He's my big brother, and I've always looked up to him, full of energy, full of just confidence and never wanting to stop. But through his military experience, he was in several war scenarios, and his body got beat up pretty bad. I think he went in 3 different tours, and he's got stories that really would blow your mind. And that sounds kind of gross when you think about war. Anyway, so his body was really beat up. And when I shared with him what this was doing for me, he said, "Blake, do you really believe in it? Do you really think it's doing you any good?" This was back in July at my son's wedding. And I said, "I do. I really do. I would love to help people feel better. I would love to help people feel like they can live a better life. This is the reason I got involved with the company, because I truly do want to help people live better." And he said, "Okay, since you're so confident in it, I'm going to try it." And so he did. And he reports to me now that the neuropathy pain from his legs and feet that he was feeling from being so beat up in the military is completely gone. He feels that not one bit. And I said yesterday on the phone with him, I was like, if that was the only thing you ever experienced from this, that dollar amount that you spend every month for that is worth it. And he wholeheartedly agreed. He said he wouldn't want to give it up, because now he flips houses, he does flooring and walls and all kinds of stuff. He can get down on the floor, do the flooring, reach over his head, do the drywall, whatever he needs to do with no pain, and feeling better, and just having a higher quality of life. So that's important for me as well. I didn't want to go too far into that, but I did want to share that, because sometimes, for me, the fears and the mental things that I dealt with to become a creator, and now sharing these stories with you, those are debilitating for us. But sometimes it's a physical thing. We don't want to do anything because we feel bad. We don't want to get out and share our story or participate in a community because we hurt. And you've heard the saying, hurt people hurt people. It's true. When we are physically hurting, we can lash out people and not be nice. So it's really good in my life now that I can do these jobs on the homestead. I can be nicer to my family. My family tells me, "You got your sense of humor back." Like my kids told me that. So I feel bad that they had to spend so many years with me being kind of grumpy. But when you hurt, things hurt. All right, where are we now? I'm way behind. Way behind. Sorry, awkward silence. Woo, way back. Okay. Yes. So if you guys are at all interested in that product or company, I don't want to say a whole lot about it. You guys already know what it is because of the links in the comments, but contact me, and there goes all my jokes. Contact me. You can send me a letter if you still do that, or you can get on Facebook in the family group, hit me up in the Facebook Messenger, or talk to Tim Turner or Kate or Doug Bowd. These are friends who are enjoying this with me. Talk to them as well because they have their own stories and their own perspective. All right. You guys are great. You guys are great. So tomorrow I'm going to release the video that I meant to release yesterday, and that is the one where the Texas boys were here on the Daddykirbs farm. Yes, they were here live, and we got to hang out with them. And so they already released the video of that visit on their channel. You can go check them out at the Texas Boys on the YouTube channel. And yeah, so mine was supposed to release yesterday, but you know, this is kind of funny. Normally now, because of the computer that I have now and the internet that I have, I can do things relatively quickly. But last night, it felt like the old days because I hit export on the editing software, and it said it was going to take 9 hours. I'm like, wow, that's weird. Normally it only takes like 15 or 20 minutes. But in the old days, it did take 9 hours. So I thought, well, maybe there's just something different about this video. I had all the settings right, at least I felt like I did. Well, I got up this morning to look to see, hey, Kilted with a, okay, here we go. I told you, every time I get a squirrel, I'm gonna throw. So we had a stripe, a star, and now for another stripe. Ooh, sorry, Robert, totally blew that one. Anyway, so that video, I got up this morning to see how it had exported, and I had 12 minutes of one frame. I don't know how it happened. It took 9 hours to export 12 minutes of one frame, one picture throughout 12 minutes. I'm pretty sure nobody would want to watch that video. So I had to refresh and do some things and re-export. So that one will be going live on, not live, but you know, public on the YouTube channel tomorrow. Probably around 7 or 8 a.m. Central Time. I use Adobe Premiere Pro. I am a professional designer, so I have access to the entire Adobe suite, and so that's what I use. If I were not a professional designer, and I would probably try to find something, I would say cheaper, but really, quite honestly, the subscription fee, when you consider it like a business expense, the $50 a month or whatever it is now, isn't that bad considering you get every program in the Adobe suite. This is not a commercial for Adobe. It's just something I happen to use. All right. What do you say? We'll throw a few more bean bags here. All right. Somehow. Oh, there it is. I was like, man, I'm off. I was using one bean bag to hold down my my notes. All right. Let's see. Let's go with a star. No. No. What happened there? What is going on? I gotta go the other way. There it is. All right, let's try again. All right, this one's going in. Right through. You saw that, right? Right through. All right. Now, I'm out of beanbags, so if anyone gives me a squirrel in the last couple minutes, I'm going to have to actually throw the squirrel. All right. So if you guys have any questions or comments in the last minute, I would love to react. I'm sorry, I spent most of my time this morning just rambling. My intention, I actually brought the iPad out here. Has my sticker on it. Also my son's. He started a business. Didn't keep up with it because he went on to do bigger and better things, but Impact Off-Road Lighting, he started that. Yeah, anyway, so I brought the iPad out because I was going to react to some of the comments in my videos, but then I just started talking. And how are the beehives? I went out there just, let's see, it's probably been not quite a week ago now. Throw that squirrel. All right. I'll answer the bee question, but I got to throw the squirrel. Let me see if I can get him bundled up here so he'll throw. See if I can even hit the board. It's kind of lightweight. Nope. So the bees, they seem to be doing fine. There's a little bit I had to do with the Gretchen Bee Ranch hive, and that's the one that had the wax moths. And I thought would be a great idea would be to pull resources from another hive over. Well, some things turned out a little differently, and those of you in the comments that made suggestions will probably say, I told you so. I just gave it away. But yeah, I'm gonna have to go back and do another video to explain what happened to that and where we are with that one right now. But hey, Bo. Bo's smiling at me. Yeah, so my Norway family, my buddy, he and his girl had a baby, and he says that he watches my show with his baby, calling me Uncle Blake. So someday I'll have to go back to Norway and meet my nephew there in Norway. Good stuff. I've had so many people commenting lately on some of my fermented videos, and hey, Luke, are you gonna join me? Are you joining me? Come on over. Come here. Luke wants to join us for the last minute. He's got his own little neck piece on. I bought these cheap, you know, you get, I'm a sucker for Facebook advertisements sometimes, and this was one of those things. But you can cover your face and make your face warm like this. Or you can put it over your ears or whatever. Helps keep your neck warm when you're out here in the freezing cold of like 45 degrees. Oh, sorry. You don't want that, do you? So, hold on. All right. Look like bank robbers. Luke, they said we look like bank robbers. You want to put your bank robber mask on? Nobody can see your face, Luke. Say, stick 'em up. Do it. Stick 'em up. Okay, thumbs up. Now we need to see your smile. Can you tell everyone how you're doing? Can you look in right here? This is the camera. Look in there and say how you're doing. Tell everybody how you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Good. Do you want to throw a beanbag? Yes? All right, hold on, guys. I'm going to get a beanbag for Luke.
Good job, Luke.
Ah. I got a whole bunch of them, Luke. Ah. Did Luke enjoy the dance a couple weeks ago? Luke, can you tell him what you said about the dance? Look in the camera right here. Tell them what you said about the dance.
Christmas ball?
No, the one that you went to, the masquerade ball. What'd you say about it? How many girls did you dance with?
So many.
So many. He said, I danced with so many girls.
So many got sick.
Yeah, and he probably picked up a virus from the girls. That's what girls would do for you. All right. All right, Luke. You take a star. Okay? Are you going to stand up? Okay. All right. Throw it. Hey, all right.
Can you do it from the chair, Luke?
Can you do it sitting down? I'm going to throw this one over my shoulder, okay? Woo, right next to yours. Do you see that?
You want to try it over
Girls have cooties. That's right. Luke forgot to take his cootie spray to the dance. All right, Luke, try another one. Okay, you gonna throw it over your shoulder, or you gonna turn around and throw it? You gotta throw it hard if you're gonna do it like that. Oh, not quite. Oh, did you see that? Did you see that, Luke? Yes.
Sitting down, Luke, you gotta go over.
Yeah. Try it again. Here, wait a minute. I know what will help. I know what will help. There we go. The masked squirrel bandit. The cornhole stars thrower. I come up with good names. Okay. Do it. Look in there. Look how you look in your squirrel hat. Look at yourself. Okay. Throw it. Do you want to stand up, or do you want to throw it sitting down? You want to stand up? Woo! Yeah. Now we're tied. Yeah. All right. Do you want to sit back down, or do you want to throw another one? Yeah, I'd quit too. We're tied. We're tied. We both got one in there. All right. Good job, bud. Good job. All right. Like father, like son. That's right. So we both got one on the board and one in the hole. You guys, thank you, Luke, for hanging out with us for a minute. Thank you guys for hanging out with me for an hour. It's been a lot of fun. I truly do appreciate these times. I do believe that everyone has a story, and every story counts. I believe your story counts. I believe Luke's story counts. You count. You guys have a great week. I'll see you next Saturday. Join me tomorrow on my the production of the Texas Boys being on the farm. And yeah, so that's it. We're done, Luke. Tell them bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.